Hello and welcome to Season 9 of Cut Through the Noise. Cut Through the Noise is the podcast that helps you, as a business leader and professional, increase your sales and brand awareness through elevated communications and marketing. I'm your host, Aisling O'Rourke, founder of The Communications Coach, based here in the Republic of Ireland. I work with business leaders and professionals who want to communicate with clarity and confidence, and I'm delighted to be back with you on this brand new season of A Cut Through the Noise. I hope you enjoyed the summer break and had a chance to take some time off, reflect, unwind, do whatever you do to really give you a chance to come back afresh for this new and final quarter of 2025. I like over the summer months, and something that I've tried to do since I started the Communications Coach, I tried to block off time in the calendar to allow me really work on the business as opposed to just in the business every day and keeping up with the hustle. This summer, though, has been a little bit different, and that's what I do in a normal summer. But this year I moved house and created this brand new studio space for Cut Through the Noise. This new studio space is going to give you better quality audio, which I'm hoping you're hearing already, and of course, new opportunities for video production capabilities. It's also where I virtually host all of my coaching sessions. I have to admit, I've had great fun putting it all together, and it's wonderful to see all our brand colours in their shining glory. And I do hope that you like it. And if you're watching it on YouTube, do give us a comment below and let us know what you think of Communications Coach and Cut Through the Noise's new home. Now, we're on to season 9 of the podcast, which at this stage, I can't quite believe it, really. And this season, I really want to leverage social media and to help you leverage social media. And you might think, well, don't you speak about social media in every podcast episode? Yeah, probably. Talk about it a lot, all right. But we're into the final quarter of the year. So, it's time for quick action that can make sure that this final quarter is the best of the year. It's a busy time. It doesn't matter what sector you're in. If you're in retail and you're preparing for, Christmas. I can't believe I just said that word out loud for the first time in 2025. But it might be tourism marketing, end of year sales push, targets that you need to hit in order to keep your managers and your stakeholders happy. Quarter 4 of any year is a high stakes period, and it can be a really challenging time. But actually, if you leverage your social media platforms and your presence in social media, you can really help hitting those end of year targets. So over the course of this episode, we will be focusing in on 3 key social media areas that you need to work on to leverage and to give you a brilliant end to 2025. First things first, well, it's video. Video, of course, has been around as a marketing tool for a really long time. Short form video, not as long, but it is absolutely dominant when it comes to general consumers, professionals' day-to-day lives, and in particular, really micro short form video. And that's what I want to focus in today. It's not going away. From TikTok, Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, and even now, LinkedIn has gotten on board with their experimental short-term video. And we're seeing other social networks leveraging these micro videos. And if you know me and you've been listening to this podcast for quite some time now, you'll know that I'm genuinely not a fan of just jumping on board a trend for the sake of jumping on board a trend. But short form video and micro short form video, they're not, in my opinion, trends. They're a new marketing tool that, if leveraged correctly, can give huge value for very low cost. So what exactly is short form video marketing? And when I say micro short form, what exactly am I talking about? It's a tricky question because it's it doesn't really have any rules. But generally speaking, you're talking about really short videos, absolutely a minute or less, but ideally between 7 and 30 seconds. They need to capture your audience's attention, give them something of value or something to entertain. And here's the thing, if you choose to bury your head in the sand and not embrace short form video and micro short form video, you're going to actually lose in social media terms, okay? Because platforms are now prioritizing micro short form video over longer videos. So that means if you have two businesses putting out the same content, sort of very similar content, but one video is shorter, it's going to be shown to more members on that particular platform than the longer video. The algorithm is now, amongst other things, it's now looking at the length of the video and the potential for engagement on that video. So that's why, starting with a really strong hook is absolutely key to getting your audience's attention and keeping it really short. Like at the end of the day, and I've said this time and time again, it's an attention economy. We've gotten lazy. Like how long, if you pick up your phone now and you open up TikTok or Instagram, whichever video platform you like to use and you enjoy, you find yourself using on a daily basis, how long do you give each video before you hit scroll? How quickly does your thumb move up on the screen? Because I know I'm guilty of it. And it's not even that I don't like the content, it's just it hasn't captured my attention. And what we're trying to do with these really short videos is to capture the audience's attention, to garner interest in you and your brand in the hopes of encouraging them to look more at you and your brand. The latest development in this particular area, according to iPhone Media, Meta has now restructured its ads platform to give more value, to place more priority on ads that are that micro short form content. So it'll be placing more importance on the shorter videos for reach and engagement. So even when it comes to paid for advertising through social media, this is also having an impact. So what does that mean for you? Well, first things first, there's no need to panic. There really isn't. It doesn't mean that you need all of a sudden to hire a full-time production crew. Short form and micro video content can be really simple and quite frankly, elegant. It could be, and it should be, okay, and it really should be, iPhone style content, okay? Content made on your smart device, okay? Not video production level content, because it has to have that intimacy of, being able to really, speak to the person on the camera. It's not like, a longer production like this podcast video even, okay? It's something a little bit more up close and personal. It could be the seasonal crafts person at the sewing machine getting ready for that seasonal rush. See how I'm using seasonal instead of that, very obvious word? And you could also, particularly if it's a seamstress, right? One lovely thing to do and a very simple thing to do is a moving shot of the person at the sewing machine, accompanied by nothing other than the sound of the sewing machine. And you've got some wonderful ASMR content to go along with it. These micro videos, they don't need to be complicated. They really don't. It can be, the local hairdresser giving your top 10 tips for styling your hair each Tuesday, and maybe on a Thursday, it's on hair care. It's just being really strategic. Now, look, and I will talk about this later in the season, but as part of all of this, we're going to need to investigate batch creating content so that you're not spending hours and hours every day doing this, but you're doing maybe 1 hour, 2 hours once a month that you can then strategically plan the videos over a period of time. It could even be, a time lapse of the product development team in a brainstorming session, something that gives, behind the scenes look at how you and your company work and on what you're really up to on a day-to-day basis. Think about capturing like really authentic moments that show the people behind the brand, show what it's like to work for you, with you. And as I've said time and time again, authentic marketing resonates more, way more than overly polished corporate sounding updates. Okay. It has to be more natural and intimate and personal, particularly on social media. So, what might this look like in the real world? Well, one video that captured my attention on TikTok the other day, and I have absolutely no affiliation to this particular company, but I've watched the video a few times now because I've enjoyed it so much. And it's from Blue Haven. I believe it's a hotel in Kinsale in County Cork, in the south of Ireland. It's a very simple video where it's straight on. Everyone is standing up as they, or at least most of them are, as they smile, introduce themselves and say where they're from in Ireland or another part of the world. So something along the lines of, hi, my name is Aisling O'Rourke and I'm from County Offaly. You know, it's just really simple, short snippets of everybody on the team introducing themselves. The video itself is celebrating the diverse nature of the hospitality industry in Ireland. It's produced really simply. It's, you know, everyone in it smiles. So it feels like you're really talking directly to the person and they're speaking to you. And okay, it's a minute long. It's a minute and two. So it's shorter than what I'm recommending. And I do think it's too long for what it is. But I like it. I love it. I've watched it a few times as a result, okay? It could have been edited down. But it shows the people behind the brand. It shows their diversity of the staff. It resonates with a topical issue at the moment, and that is the importance of diversity in society, the importance of the variety of cultures being brought into a business, a brand, a society, and all the benefits that may contain. I'll put the link in the show notes below so you can take a look at that video yourself. When I was looking at it, I think it had hit maybe 18,000 views, which for a video like that, for a brand like that, that's massive. And I don't think it would have taken all that long to produce. Again, no affiliation to the company, but kudos to the marketing person who came up with the idea. Okay, so we've discussed micro, short form video content. Now let's talk about social listening. It's time to assess how social listening can help you with your content for social media overall, okay? So generative AI, we've talked about it. We will talk about it again. It's moved from novelty to necessity now. According to Hootsuite's 2025 social media trends survey, they found there that 76% of marketers now see AI as revolutionary for content creation. It can help you from drafting captions to scheduling posts. It's no longer something that the tech bros are very excited about, to something that is necessary to you, your work and your daily life, just to help you to be more productive and show up more online. But here's the thing. First things first, you need to learn how to use it. You need to ensure that you're using it ethically and you're never allowing it to speak for you or to replace your voice. And that's really important. That is a conversation for another day. And I will in future do a whole episode around that. But for today, I want to talk about how it can help you. And you can use AI tools. There are a lot of them. I don't need to list out the brands. But you can use them to listen to your target audience online, to investigate what people are talking about, to investigate what people want to hear from you and your brand, so that you can get ideas from it to help you create content for those days when you think, okay, right, I listen to Aisling's podcast, right, it's the first Monday of the month. I must have, content made by the end of the day. I'm not sure what I'm going to make. Do some social listening. What is it that people who are your target audience, what are they talking about on social media? What are they engaging with? What do they like? You can use AI to help you with that. Take the video that I mentioned earlier. It was talking about diversity, and for a variety of reasons, which I'm not going to go into here, diversity has become topical in real life and online in Ireland again. And as a result of this conversation, solidarity with immigrants as they face discrimination here in Ireland and hate online around the world, the solidarity movement has found a voice online. And, there have been many, many videos coming out. And by leaning into this, by recognizing that for this particular company, this is something that their target audience cares about. So we're going to talk about it too because we care about it. It's a really clever and strategic marketing tool, but it also shows transparency and authenticity into what you as a company care about. According to the Hootsuite Social Trends report for 2025, 62% of marketers now say that social listening is a key part of their marketing strategy. It's huge, okay? So it's really, really important. And you can also use AI as part of this to make it more achievable. It might for you in the lead up to, the next few seasons that are approaching. What are people talking about? Are they talking about, shopping online in Dublin or shopping local? Are they looking for Irish made products to give as gifts this holiday season? What is it that people are talking about? And can you tailor your social media content to that need and turn it around quickly? Because the advantage with micro and short form video content and social media is that you can, if you have a good idea, you can turn it around rapidly. It's not the same as a commercial video shoot that you would make an ad on video content or photographs that you need to last for a long time. This serves a different purpose. Finally, then, we're going to talk about authenticity. And authenticity, niche engagement, and trust are absolutely vital now, as much as ever before, but particularly when you're trying to grow your sales, grow the business at this time of year. So we've moved past the let's chase every trend, okay? And micro virality, where you tap into the right cultural moments for your audience, is now leading the way. It's more effective than just trying to hop on every trend that's going and not really having any kind of a consistent approach. If you really niche down in these micro videos and social media content, you can get real results. And it helps to build trust because you're showing more and more of who you are as a business and what it is that you care about. In Ireland, where relationships and reputations still count for a lot, authenticity can be your competitive edge. Whether you're a family-owned business in Limerick or a startup in Waterford, show people who you are and the stories behind your brand again and again. And if you do use AI tools, that's fine, but let people know that you're using them. And again, do not let it take your voice. Let's be honest about it. That generic, kind of American sounding AI voice is boring to listen to. It's far more interesting to hear what you think might be a Kerry or Cork accent, or an Offaly one in my case, or a Dublin one. It's far more interesting and engaging to hear diversity of voices. So do not let AI take your voice. Let it help you come up with the content instead. It's about using it as a tool instead of getting it to replace you and your marketing team. Now, look. It can be daunting, but just remember that while authenticity has been a trendy topic for a few years now, it's vital that you build that authentic relationship of trust with your customers, whether they're business or consumers, so that they become your best business advocates. Now, if that all sounds too much or even overwhelming, then let me help. Sign up today to join the Clarity Collective, the monthly communications and marketing mindset where we help each other to refine your message, boost your confidence, and create clear communication strategies that deliver real results for you and your brand. And you can find out more in the show notes below. Now, in a new addition to Cut Through the Noise for season 9, we are trying to encourage more of you to follow us on YouTube. So this next session is a bonus session for YouTube viewers only. But I really wanted to, give you a synopsis of my top tips today, because I know that what I've discussed, there's a lot there to it. I could talk about it for hours, let's be honest. So I wanted to give you my top 5 social media strategies for Q4 of 2025. Number 1, shoot and post at least 1 micro video per week. Keep it less than 30 to 45 seconds, okay? The shorter, the better. Use your phone, make it intimate, and show rather than tell. Number 2, use AI for efficiency. Great, no problem. Do not let it replace you or your voice. And if you use AI, let the audience know. 3, set up some social listening tools. Tools like Google Alerts, ChatGPT tasks. Get them to work with you to feed you new data on a weekly, daily, monthly basis, whatever works best for you and your brand. Engage authentically, and this one's really important. It is important, particularly in a small economy that we have here in Ireland. Comment meaningfully on other people's support. Support other entrepreneurs in your niche, because at the end of the day, it's nice to be nice, but also, by commenting and supporting other people in your niche, you're becoming more visible to their followers, to their target market. So you both benefit. And finally, be transparent. Always be transparent, but it is really important, so I'm repeating it. If you're using AI in your content strategy, label it as such. Changes are coming down the line very rapidly. In fact, by the time this episode has gone live, TikTok will have enforced new rules where you will have to tag it as AI generated content, and the rest will follow suit. So finally for today, as we head into Q4, remember that social media can either be a distraction or a driver for your business. And the difference is quite simple. It's about having a strategy. Lean into short form video. Use AI smartly and ethically, and listen to your audience. Focus on creating genuine connections. You don't need a massive budget or even a TV production crew. What you need is clarity, agility, and the confidence to share your story your way. That's it for this episode of Cut Through the Noise. And if you'd like to explore how these strategies might be beneficial for you, if you need advice on it, on how you can boost and grow your own brand, connect with me through thecommunicationscoach.ie or by email hello@thecommunicationscoach.ie. And yes, those links are also in the show notes below. Thanks, Amanda. Thank you for listening. Thank you for supporting the podcast. It does mean the world to us here on the production side of things. Remember, it is a noisy world, so you need to communicate with confidence, clarity, and authenticity if you want you and your brand to stand out in the sea of sameness and cut through the noise. Stay safe, have a great week, and we'll be back next week with another edition of Cut Through the Noise.